All right, it is 9:01 p.m. and the meeting is back in order. Is there any action to be taken from executive session?
Yeah, I'd like to move to make a motion to appoint the empty vacant council seat to Amber Fletcher.
The motion has been made by Mike to appoint Amber Fletcher to the vacant council seat. Brooklyn has seconded that motion. Brian, can you take a roll call vote?
Kelly. Kenneth.
Yes.
Ben Corbett.
Yes.
Mike Mays.
Yes.
Brooklyn Barnhart.
Yes.
Boggy.
Yes.
Andy.
Andy.
Everybody that's.
The motion successfully passes. Welcome, Amber. Come on up and we will go ahead and appoint you.
Bring that up. Raise your right hand, you swear.
Yeah.
Bring your purse so you can put it up here too.
We'll swear you in down here. I'll do it down here.
So afterwards, you'll go ahead and come up here.
I was just asking. I'd say somebody that's named the
I took so. Oh, I'm sorry. You can use these, but I think so. We'll do it my third time. Sure. So,
Raise your right hand.
raise your right arm, right hand. I state and repeat after me. I state your name. I, Amber Fletcher, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
The Constitution of the State of Ohio.
the Charter and ordinances
The Charter and ordinances
of the Village of Georgetown,
of the Village of Georgetown.
and will obey the laws thereof,
And will obey the laws thereof.
and will faithfully,
And will faithfully,
honestly and impartially
honestly and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a member of
of a member of
the Georgetown Village Council
the Georgetown Village Council,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. You may be seated.
Sure.
That's good. She can work with her. I think so. I think she will.
All right. And I want to say, Jeremy just snuck out. Thank you to our other candidates. Tony, thank you again. Certainly, we will be, as a council, looking to you guys too in the future. There's always opportunities for committees and various things to definitely get on board. So appreciate it. It was certainly a tough decision. Okay, let's see. I don't even know where we are. So we are moving into general business. We have multiple things that we need to roll through. So let's get organized here first of all. So item A on your agenda is approval of the January regular council session meeting minutes. So those should be in your packets. If somebody gets to the page, I think it's page 1. Wow. So take a look at those. After you review them, if you haven't done so already, I will entertain a motion to approve.
There's several things that need to be fixed on them, or do we just go ahead and approve it anyways?
No, you can point them out.
Well, there's Maridale Bullington,
Yeah, I've had that one pointed out already.
Annie Bockley, Kelly, there's an E there. Multiple places for Kelly Jones and Kelly Campbell, twice for Kelly Campbell. And then I think that was all that I seen. Yes, that's it.
Would you prefer that Brian take these back and review them and make the changes kind of, because it is
I
important with,
prefer it.
yeah, with
Yeah.
the amount of Kellys that are involved in this to make sure. So why don't we do that?
I don't think I've ever put any in their names. Many of them have been.
No, I would rather have.
No, that's fine.
I wish I
I'm
had
okay
your
with it.
number. I would have called you, but
That's okay.
I just got it today, so.
Yeah. Yes, let's go ahead and hold those and we'll bring those back to the next meeting. Item B is the 68 paving project. That is going to be on page 4. And Kelly, you might speak to this a little bit, Kelly Jones. The 68 paving project that we're looking at on page 4.
This is a overlay project. It's basically where the state will come in and put a layer of blacktop over the existing roadway, which part of that will be in the village limits. So we have to pass a resolution to approve the state to do that.
Okay. All right. So we're on page 4. Kelly Campbell, would you please read this by title?
Resolution authorizing the Ohio Department of Transportation to complete an overlay project along the portion of the US Route 68 in the village of Georgetown.
All right. Any discussion for this resolution? All right. I will entertain a motion if there is no discussion.
I'll make a motion.
Kelly Campbell has made the motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Mike Mays. Brian, let's do a roll call vote.
Kelly Campbell,
Yes.
Amber Fletcher,
Yes.
Nate Garbutt,
Yes.
Mike Mays,
Yes.
Brooklyn Barnhart,
Yes.
Andy Balky.
Yes.
Brooklyn and Amber, I don't know if your mics are working. And it's. Maybe you bring it closer. Okay.
So working now?
Yeah, it should be good now.
All right. Motion passes.
It's resolution 1367.
Resolution 1367. All right, moving right along, we have another resolution. We are moving to page 6, and that's Public Entities Pool of Ohio. And again, Kelly, Kelly Jones, I am coming your way. Tell me more. Resolution on page 6.
You want me to respond?
What is this? We're entering.
Basically, when Art Owens was with the village, he served on the District 15 committee. The Public Works, basically.
No, they're doing that.
No.
They're doing
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry.
Public entities.
Yeah.
I think this is insurance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got out of line.
You're fine.
Yeah, this is our insurance pool that we contract with each year. This usually comes out around December, and they were late getting it out to us. I've been in contact with them. We do have to get this passed tonight so we can keep our insurance up, so.
I wonder.
So this is for the medical insurance?
No.
This is for property.
Okay. And that's the total we pay a year, 70,000?
Yes, and it's retroactive, just to point out, to January 1st. And just so you understand how PEP works, if the village gets sued, that's who I work with to defend the village. They provide a defense for us.
All right. Kelly, would you read this resolution by title? Kelly Campbell?
Resolution authorizing the village administrator to enter into an agreement with the Public Entities Pool of Ohio for the casualty, liability, fire, and property damage insurance.
Fantastic. I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
I'm sorry, can I ask one other
Sure.
quick question? So this is for like, is this for buildings or is it, because I'm reading there, it's law enforcement official, wrongful acts. Well, that's because when I asked that, you said it was for buildings, so,
Everything. It's our
everything.
property, it's our liability, it's our fire, it's everything.
okay, sorry.
All inclusive.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
The motion has properly been made by Mike and seconded by Andy Bakke. Brian, let's do a roll call vote.
Kelly Campbell,
Yes.
Amber Fletcher, Nate Garbutt,
Yes.
Mike Mays,
Yes.
Brooklyn Barnhart,
Yes.
Andy Balky.
Yes.
Motion passes. That's resolution
1368.
1368. All right, moving right along, guys. We are moving up to page 7, and that is a resolution integrating committee. I think this is what you were speaking to a minute ago, Kelly.
Got ahead of myself. Art served on the District 15 integrating committee. I've been asked to replace him temporarily while I'm here, so if council would approve that, I know the state would appreciate it.
Kelly Campbell, can you read this by title, please?
a resolution designating Kelly Jones as the Village of Georgetown's appointment to the District 15 Public Works Integrating Committee.
I will entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? All right, Mike has properly made the motion.
With Brooklyn seconding this. Actually, Brian, let's do a roll call.
Kelly Campbell,
Yes.
Ben Corbett,
I did have a question, I'm sorry. Do we have to, if his name is misspelled, do we have to fix that on this?
Yes, it is misspelled 3 times.
My name is spelled correctly.
Oh, it is, okay,
Yes.
all right,
Getting your Kellys confused.
all right, just making sure. So yeah, my vote is yes.
Okay.
That would have been my fault if it was.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. Go. Kelly Campbell.
Amber Fletcher,
Yes.
Mike Mays,
Yes.
Brooklyn Barnhart,
Yes.
and Andy
Andy Bucky.
Bucky.
Yes.
I was on a roll there for a while. It's 1369.
Motion passes. Resolution number 1369. All right, page 8. Resolution for the mayor to enter into agreement with an advisory group for professional services to essentially search for our next administrator. Should I have Kelly read this first? Kelly, would you please read this?
Resolution authorizing the mayor enter an agreement with Management Advisory Group for professional services associated with the search for a village administrator.
Can I ask a question real
Sure.
quick in regards to that? So have we put out advertisement for a new village administrator, I presume already? And we're not having luck, I presume.
I've only had 2 responses.
Do you put a total dollar amount, or is it just kind of like advertising the position when you're advertising, or do you put a dollar amount in that advertisement for that position?
Mike, the way we advertised was based on their experience,
Did you put like a
education.
ballpark number? I
No.
never seen nothing
No,
on
we
that, I'm
didn't.
sorry.
Not on this one, no.
I just feel like that's a lot of money, and I'm just curious why. What can we entice them with putting a total, or I just felt sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was just going to speak to your, so this was kind of a preference on my part to do. When we found Tyler previously, when we were under the gun to find a previous administrator, we did look to this consulting company to help us search. This is a common, in my professional world, it's a common thing to look to quote unquote consulting firms or headhunters to find people when you have vacancies in certain roles. Having said that, I spoke to this consulting firm, and initially they had a much larger price tag. So they were closer to, call it 18, 19,000 for their efforts. And as part of that, they had a lot of, they put a lot of their time and effort into building a portfolio of Georgetown, and they building something that they can market that shows any candidate like, hey, you really want to come to Georgetown. They also emphasize their ability to what's the word I'm looking for? Pre-screen,
Background checks.
pre-screen candidates to put the right candidates in front of us. All of that, is an expense. And secondly is it takes time to build that. They want to, to talk to people, to get pictures, talk about events. And I think that's fantastic. And I think there's a need for that. I don't really think that there's a need for the Village of Georgetown. I am very comfortable with our team that we are organizing to, screen the candidates. I just need somebody to scour, and it's probably going to be outside of Georgetown because, as you heard Kelly say, we've had 2 candidates, and that's been out there for over a month. I need somebody that's well networked in the public works entity to find us candidates. So I went back to the company and said, okay, let's talk about this. This is what I need. I need you to headhunt for me. I need you because you have told me that you are so well marketed or networked in this sector, and you feel confident that you'll find some candidates that way. I just need you to find the candidates, get them to the table with us. We'll do the rest. So that was the agreement. That's why there's a reduced price. I don't really believe we're gonna hit on the $5,000 range. I think it's gonna be less than half of that. That is my intention, because I think once we pass this, I'm pretty confident he has a few candidates to pass along. That doesn't say that there isn't anyone here that could be a candidate for this position within, a 25-mile range of Georgetown. Doesn't say that. But when we make this next decision and this next person, I want to make sure we have longevity. I want to make sure that we have the right person in place. So I don't just want to interview one person. I want us to be interviewing 4, 5, 6 strong candidates for the role that we can make a solid decision from. So I don't possess the time or the networking in that sector to know who to go get. Honestly, you're looking for a specific person. So what we get with this agreement is we get somebody that's well networked in the public sector that will find us somebody. And they've proven that before. That's how we got Tyler. So
We have never advertised a dollar amount that a person prospectively could.
Not today.
Okay.
And I think just, and Joe might be able to speak on this too, because I think these companies are very important
Yes.
and they can draw such a wide can of pool. Tyler, I think, came from Florida, if I remember correctly. The only concern, and I think what Mike is trying to hit on to a point, is I look next door to Claremont County, for example, who's hiring their assistant county administrator. The minimum starting salary is $115,000, pay bands 130 to up to 150 or 60. Union Township, Miami Township, they've had some turnover. I'm sure some of the other villages that you serve, you've seen, which obviously it's apples to oranges, but I think being able to, at least if we, in this company does this, we have to put our trust in these people, just knowing what we're willing, I guess, to offer as a village to get the quality person that we're hoping to seek, and not being in a rush for that, but understanding of we may have to go above and beyond what we've paid out in years past for that
Absolutely.
position, because I do think you get what you pay for.
I think if you want my true honest opinion, I think you're going to have to push that income up, but we got to find the right person first. And if I can sell the person to you guys, I'm hoping that if we have to push that income level up, you'll agree and see the value and why. But honestly, I don't think we're going to get an administrator for $70,000 a year. No, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen. But if we push it up, I think we will. Yes.
May I speak to that? Just for council's knowledge, a lot of you know what all you have going on in this village, and there's a lot of projects. So the person that comes in and takes the seat that I'm filling right now, they're going to have to have the background in it, honestly. It's just not a learning place right now. You have a lot of projects out there. There's a lot of money out there right now. And we just applied for another $1 million grant. We're going to find out hopefully this week if we get the money for the downtown revitalization. That's $6.5 million. So that person that comes in this door, they're going to have the background in order to keep these projects going. You're under 2 EPA mandates on projects there's a lot of discussion about infrastructure. We do have some bad pipes in the ground. You're looking 60, 80-year-old water pipes that you've been replacing. And these things have to keep moving.
So Kelly, from your viewpoint, and you're right there in that seat, is this something we want to fool around with?
Well, I made every effort as soon as we found Art was going to retire. Within the week, I was already advertising, trying to get, honestly, I'm ready for retirement again. But with that said, you need to keep on. You really do. But you need to pursue the individual that's going to best fit. It's just not for someone to come in and learn on the job.
No.
It's really
I
not.
have a question. Do you receive a report, like the way it breaks down, you're looking at a minimum of 10 hours and a maximum of 25 hours. That would be your 2,000 and your 5,000 at $195 an hour. To me, it's not a lot of time. But do you see, or will you receive some kind of report showing what they've done in that amount of time?
I think, you can request that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. just like you do for me or your engineering firms or anything.
How does those hours clock? I mean, is it like, okay, so we create an advertisement and we got X amount of hours in it, and then however many times we got to put this out, that adds up time and
I think you'll see, first of all, they're not creating an advertisement. We're not doing any of that. They are strictly headhunting for us. And I think the reason why I think this is going to be a lower expense on the lower side is because I do think he already has a few candidates in mind. He's just waiting for this to officially get signed so he can release those and bring those people to the table. Your expense is going to be in his networking, his time making phone calls and, you know, networking with the people that he knows would be a good candidate and talking to them to see if this is something of interest. Your expense is not going to be in building marketing materials and selling Georgetown. It's not necessarily that. It's strictly headhunting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, Mike has properly made the motion to approve this resolution with Andy Baki seconding. Brian, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Kelly Campbell. Amber Fletcher.
Yes.
Nate Garbett.
Yes.
Mike Mays.
Yes.
Brooklyn Barnhart.
Yes.
Andy Boggy.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution number
1370.
1370, guys. All right. I'm sorry. We have some add-ins as well, I believe. We have one supplemental appropriation that should be in front of you. This is for the money that we approved, I believe it was last month, for the Port Authority. We needed to do a supplemental appropriation so we can release those funds to the Port Authority. Kelly, would you read this by title? Is there only one?
An ordinance making a supplemental appropriation for the village of Georgetown, Brown County, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
All right, discussion?
Motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Bink has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brooklyn seconded the motion. All right, Brian, let's go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Kelly Campbell. Amber Fletcher.
Yes.
Nate Garbett.
Yes.
Mike Mays.
It's not gonna matter. I'm just gonna say no.
Brooklyn Barnhart.
Yes.
Andy Boggy.
Yes.
It's 1363.
Motion passed. Motion passes. Ordinance number 1363.
5-1.
Say that again.
Was that a 5-1 vote, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah. May I make a statement behind that? The only reason why I voted no was because I don't like the idea of us giving money out but not getting return payment back for that money. I mean, as far as like, if I give you money, I want my money back in due time. And we'll get that money back through development potential. It scares me. Sorry, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And we have no other add-ins? Okay.
So we are moving along on the agenda. We are down to our fiscal report, and Greg is not here tonight. Having said that, in your packet, you do have the payment listing that is on page, it's a long one. I think it's a couple months of payment listings. Page 10. So take a look at that. If you have any questions about any payments that were made on any of these, we'll try and answer those tonight. If not, we will find out the answer from Greg.
Okay. Who do I refer this question to?
Just toss it out.
Or Kelly?
Hi, Kelly.
Okay, Annexter Inc. for $11,362,
What page are you on?
page 10.
Oh, he's ready.
Several pages.
First page, Kelly, page 10.
Can't answer that.
So I'll circle that right here.
And then there was,
First page.
Dinsmore and Scholl on page 11,
Dinsmore.
$4,200.
That's our bond counsel.
Bond counsel.
They do all of our bond work for our TIFs and for our annual, like all of our municipal bond work that we do, that we bond out. Brenda Weimer does that work. She's done it before I got here, but very expensive.
And then not the nick on any one person, but 2 lines above that.
Yeah.
Is that a monthly, yearly?
That's
6 months?
that's
or-
actually 3 months.
Okay, okay.
And that's my apologies that we had not billed that, but that was a year-end bill.
Well, I was just thinking.
It's much higher than usual.
Right.
But I did want to point out on the Dinsmore Show, I didn't know that was going to be on there, or I would have introduced it to you. You pay us $185 an hour, you pay Dinsmore $400 an hour, so it's a lot. The reason that bill is $4,200 for a single project is because of that hourly rate. And bond counsel, I will tell you, is a specialized area that's very expensive.
And then I seen multiple times Rumpke, and one that comes to mind is the $24,000 payment to them. Right here, page 12. It's 4th, 5th line down, $24,480. Is that a monthly payment we make to them, or is that every 3 months, or was that not paid?
It's
That
the
seems high.
waste collection, and Mike, it's been so long since I've been involved in some of these. I can't answer that. I would assume,
Can I get an answer
Yes, sir.
on that?
yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
I'll double check with Greg tomorrow.
Well, I was just, I'm curious, how many houses are in Georgetown that get service? Because I was trying to figure out today, if we have 4,400 people, what does that equate to? 1,800 homes, 2,200 homes? Because when I was doing the math on that today, and I thought, well, what do I pay Rumpke monthly? What's my Rumpke bill? And then I'm trying to equate that to how many houses are in the village, and I'm seeing 24,000 for something. I'm like, okay, so how does this,
We've heard that's roughly 22 houses in the
2,200?
2,200. I've said that for a few years now. I don't know exactly. And I'm assuming
I'm
that's
sorry,
close.
Kelly.
Yeah, I think it's more than that now, Mayor,
it?
but
You also
with
got,
Rumpke, you also have commercial figured into some of these prices too, Mike.
Well, and then there was another line item that Bink just pointed out to me on page 16 for another 22,000 to Rumpke wasting. So, I mean, that's a substantial amount of money.
that's a different, if you look at the dates, that's a different month as well. So you're probably looking at a couple of different months in there.
Yeah, so what we can do, Mike, is get clarity tomorrow. And either Greg or Kelly or one of us will send you an email or give you a phone call. Because I don't know if it's monthly, if it's quarterly, once a year, twice a year. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know.
Get that email.
Yeah.
Can we all get that email just for knowledge?
Kelly, are you make a note of that, Kelly, or you want me to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And just one more thing, I promise you this is it on this. And I'm thinking I know what this is, and I think the guy next to me here is going to tell me, but the cab fare,
Yeah, I was curious about that
$165. Was that to send somebody home or get out there?
I think it was to get somebody where they needed to be, other than Georgetown.
Okay. I was just, yeah. I seen that cab on there, and I was like, what in the world? We giving people rides? Because I need one over to Buford.
Hey, Mike, if you look at page 10.
Yeah.
5 up from the bottom, it says Rumpke, $1,060.
Uh-huh.
And then you flip over to page 11, about halfway up, Rumpke's about $1,900. And that's, if you look at the dates, it looks like we're getting weekly bills, a week to every 2 weeks for 1,000 to around 2,000. So I would like to,
Well, that's why I called my attention to it, because I feel like I remember them numbers being that low. And then I see 24,000, 22,000. I'm like, wow, why is it? I mean, there must be something there that, you know.
Yeah, I think that's good to double click on that. And tomorrow we'll get some additional follow-up on that.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Other questions? All right, so then we will move along to page 18. This is the payment register on the business credit cards that some of the village employees use here. So that's a breakdown of their expenses. If there's any questions, please let us know. All right, if not, moving quite along. Got to reference back. Fund summary is on page 21. So take a look at that if anybody has any questions. Page 22 is your bank reconciliation. And then we get over to page 23, your fire and EMS lockbox. I think we get this once a quarter. Is that correct, Joey?
Yes.
Yes. So this is your return on what gets billing from EMS Transports. Pull your microphone closer. I don't think it's working. Your microphone.
I don't have it on.
Yeah. So this is what the return is on the soft billing for the EMS usage.
This is none of the billing for like how you go out in township and get so much per year.
No,
This is just individual bill. Okay.
correct. It's probably 90% insurance and probably 10% or less of actual billing to the patient. So
All right. And then on page 24, you do have a recent zoning report. I know Mike was working on that the last couple of days, so it looks like he provided a report for the year. So take a look at that.
So is this like permits and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, this is just the permits themselves. I'm kind of looking here. No. Yeah,
These go together like.
yeah, the 2 and 2. I'll work with him and see if we can get a more manageable report. And may also work with him if you guys are interested in getting as well a little bit more, I don't want to say detail, but a little bit more information on just the violations potentially too as well to kind of, I don't want to get addresses and get that granular in this open session, but maybe we can find a way to get a little more detail that way. Okay, all right. All right, so I think that concludes that piece from the reports. So with that said, we can move right into roundtable. I need to find it. Oh Lord, I have to get it. I wanted to go through the committees, and I think I know what I did with that paper. I left it on the desk. Well, Mike, I did go ahead and assign the committees. I was thinking that, should I let somebody go ahead and start so I'm not disrupting the meeting?
Good. You want me to run up and get it?
I fold it and put it in the trash can under the mayor's desk. He's going to get it. All right, so I'll come back to that and make sure that I go through that real quick with you guys. So let's start down here on this end with Andy. And Andy, do you have anything for roundtable?
Just briefly, I'd like to thank our street department for the work they did with snow. That's sometimes a thankless job, so we appreciate them for that. One question I had, and I had a couple of people ask me, was our village website itself appears to be somewhat out of date. We are lacking on minutes from our meeting and things like that. And if that's something we could look into, getting our software, whoever manages our site, to maybe update that so we can get those that information put up there so it's a little more easily accessible. And then obviously we got some new faces, so being able to make sure that the public knows how they can reach us at least by email.
Yeah.
If we can look into that as well.
That's something that we have definitely been talking about, trying to get accomplished, so certainly on the radar, by all means, a good point.
Thanks. And that's all I had.
All right, our newest member, Amber, anything for the group today?
I have nothing right now.
Okay, all right. Brooklyn?
I'm good.
Good, all right. Kelly Campbell?
Yeah, I know most of the candidates brought this up actually, but I had somebody else complain about the sidewalks and the lack of, I guess a few of them doesn't taper down for wheelchair accessible too good, and then the rest of them are cracked pretty bad. So I think we need to try to look into some ways to fix that in the future. And, yeah.
Is there a committee for that, or is that under utility, or could we do something that maybe focus on different areas throughout the year? I'm sorry.
I think we've always put that within Community Development Committee and to allow for some discussion there, I guess. That, yeah, that committee, I'll tell you who's on that, Kelly, shortly.
I was looking, it is utilities, sidewalks.
It is
that.
utilities for sidewalks?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So it could go to utilities?
explain the risk of taking on the sidewalk project.
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea. So if that is something that the utilities committee wants to take on, Joe does want to
I
be
don't
a,
think it was in there.
okay.
That's the only thing. that's in there.
Then I have one other thing. I know Mr. Icoltz brought it up. I had it written down to go over. We need to look into the cost and what we think about the speed limit warning signs that flash, the digital signs.
Well, I had an idea about that and I think, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, go ahead.
I just didn't express it when we were talking about that a couple months ago. But, you know, I'm on the chair for the Beer Fest committee and we always look for some place to put money that we can make an impact. And I was thinking that might not be a bad idea to utilize that money this year to donate to get one of those speed limit.
That Keith, Mr. Keith, I think he said it was somewhere around 5,000.
I think Rob said they were like $7,000.
This depends on what you're getting,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, for that kind of money, you could probably get a trailer.
His quote was 3,500 to 5,500, but he did say that he was just a quick lookup and it wasn't.
I do know the one in Mount Orb that, the Mount Orb Auto Mall paid for that, so. I mean, if somebody wants to come forward and buy us one, I mean, I'd be more than happy to.
That was gonna be my, that was gonna be my proposal to our group with the Beer Fest. I don't want to speak too soon, but I mean, I think that's, I mean, last year we did playground equipment and honestly, our donation probably doesn't even buy a whole swing set. So it's not very impactful. So if we could find a better way to make
I
a
don't
stronger
know
impact.
if Mount Orbs does this, but if we were going to do that, I would love to get one that can be moved. You know, this week we might have it out on Ohio Street. Next week it might be on 125, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But something that we could move, that would be great.
I know Mount Orb does move. I actually live up in Mount Orb and actually moves from street to street about monthly. Monthly, they move it.
Why don't we put our heads together on that? Because I think there's a way to make it happen through that committee, and that's typically a very successful event. And I think that's something that I probably could get that committee to agree to.
And then real quick, the other reason for it was he was concerned about the person blowing by the school bus several times too. So maybe definitely look into that. That's all I have.
All right, Bink?
Yeah, I was going to mention the sign as well. I talked to Rob about it earlier, and that was also my idea. If there's any businesses that would like to reach out to one of us, just send us an email. If we get a couple businesses that come together and want to sponsor something like that. I also wanted to say, and I don't know if you're going to get this, Kelly, that I would like to put my name into the my hat in the ring for the Port Authority liaison. So, and then if anybody has ideas, reach out to me. We talk to these candidates and it probably scares them to death when we ask them how to bring businesses in because we're all struggling with that, but we need to figure those kind of things out. And I think that Port Authority will be helpful. That's all I've got.
Mike?
Well, first, I'd like to thank all the people that came in and showed up and stuck around. I can't talk about what was said back there, but I can tell you we were all banging our head on the wall about who to pick. Everybody was a good potential pick for that seat. And thank yous for coming in to do that. Also, would like to touch on what Andy said earlier. The town guys, they did a great job of cleaning up. I would like them to consider with praise comes, discussion on how we could try to make things a little better. And I'm not saying this just for my own benefit, but we have a beautiful courthouse on the square. And I feel like with that being said, and we call out the historic district for what represents Georgetown. And it was good. They did a great job, but a lot of them parking spots like around the courthouse were filled with snow still. Maybe we could do something about that. And I don't know if that's something you guys did in the past or not. I feel like it's been done in the past, but
It has, if I can elaborate just a little bit.
I know they were busy too.
We had
So-
4 water breaks at the same time. And the water crew worked one all day, Monday, came back out at 7:00 and they called me 5 the next morning. They were just wrapping up. And unfortunately, when you get bad weather, you have to kind of use certain employees at certain times. And the street crew had already been out, working all night trying to keep the streets. Obviously, they can only work so many hours and they have to go home. The other gentleman that would step in and help them out, they were on water breaks. So it was a combination of a lot of things, but
Well, it's a thankless job, and in all fairness to them, and when they come through, a lot of times people don't think, hey, let's park our car over here so we can get, and I'm guilty of that too, so, but, it's the main part of our square, so. But they did a heck of a great job, and I'm not, one other thing I'd like to say, and I'll leave it alone, I've asked and asked for months. I've got 2 reports in 2.5 years almost from Hammond Group. And I don't know what's so difficult. And if we need to move as a full body of council to vote on a report, we get one from Rob, we get one from Joe, we get one from you. I don't understand why this is so complicated to get a report of what's going on with the, what is it, $3,600 a month that we pay to that group?
33 to 36.
I think you could probably see a billing statement or hours that are billed. I don't know that you'll see a full detail on that report simply because a lot of the things that he works with behind the scenes is not up for public information just yet. Think about it like the businesses. I can think of 2 that he's working with right now that you don't want to disclose for chance of losing that deal, if you will. So I do think it's possible to probably get something where we're looking at the hours that he's spending working things in our community and maybe like a higher level summation of that. But you're not going to get, just keep in mind, you're not going to get on this day I met with this company and this is, what we talked
No, but
about.
they could say that they had this meeting here and a meeting here and the purpose was for a proposal on a land deal or whatever, they can be generic.
Yes, it
Would
would
be
be
informative. And I don't like just nothing. And I think that the people pay good money and they deserve a report of some nature. Other than that, that's it. Thank you, guys.
All right, Joey, coming your way, fire and EMS.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. A couple things. I made a report for you guys and I set it in front of you. And I made it as informative, but as thin as possible, as generic as possible, so you're not going to sleep, by reading it. It talks about, road totals. The very first one's EMS only. The second page is fire only. And then the last reports, the last 2 pages is a combination and it tells you the nature of calls and all that stuff. So if you're curious, Mike, you had mentioned about the townships. That's why I specifically put that on there so you could measure how much they're paying us by how much we're doing. So if you're curious, Franklin, Lewis, Pleasant, and Scott are the townships we cover for the newer folks. So if you're curious, I can run about any report you want. I can tell you what time of day is the busiest, what hour of the day. If there's anything you guys want, feel free to just call me or email me and I'll get the report for you. In years past, I made these big old huge packets and I felt like it was probably, I don't know, used to start a fire somewhere or something. But nonetheless, it's all in there. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. A couple other things real quick, like kind of an update on the job, the full-time job. I've got 8 applications, which I was really thrilled about. I didn't think we'd get that many, to be honest, and I'm really happy about that. And it runs through the end of January. So at that point, we'll start, having our interviews and whatnot, reaching out to people. But 8 candidates, I was really thrilled with that, considering, the proximity we are to Claremont County and how much some of those departments pay. So I was really happy about that. The Eagles, Georgetown Eagles 2293 did give us a donation. I want to thank them for that. That group of people up there, they give money out. I don't know where it comes from, but they are a huge supporter of the countywide. I mean, it's not just Georgetown. And they're part of the reason we have a UTV at our firehouse. Them and Parker's Pizza, was pretty much paid for it with all the donations they give us. So I wanted to give a shout out to those individuals. Also, Waldom Electronics gave us a big donation, and I wanted to give a shout out to them. We've partnered up with them a little bit, and we were just out there this week teaching CPR, and we're going to go back in a couple months and teach a few more, get some more folks certified, do some first aid training with them. But they've been a real blessing for the community. I know they have been for us, and I'm sure if it's us, it's been every other department as well. In light of that, last year we certified 93 people in the community in CPR, which is, that's a lot getting people in and out. So, I appreciate people stepping up and taking that. We also placed 77 smoke detectors in our community, residences that didn't have working smoke detectors. If you remember, we bought some and we're still giving them out. But last year we placed 77. So there's a lot of homes out there that are much safer than they were before you guys took the initiative to buy those for us. So we appreciate it.
Still doing good?
Yeah. We've probably got 50 left, I would say. So I forget exactly, maybe even more. I forget how many we bought, but we've got a bunch of them. But I've got all the paperwork because Mr. Braun had typed us up a release and what have you, and I've got all those in a file. That's how I knew how many there was. I went through and counted them. So, but outside of that, everything's going. It's a lot of sick people right now. Flu's going around, pneumonia's going around. So, staying busy.
Any questions for Joey? All right, Joey, we thank you. And again, thank you to Eagles. Certainly, they are consistently very supportive of things that we have going on in both departments here in the village and events that we do in the village. So we are beyond appreciative of that.
They are having fish fries this year, 3 of them.
Ooh.
So the fish fries are coming back.
Support your local
the fish
Eagles.
fries.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Rob, coming your way.
Just want to reiterate what Joey said about the donations from Eagles. They also donated, I believe, the same amount of money to us. They come through even when we don't ask for anything. They still donate to us. So they're always helping out any way they can. As a matter of fact, I was going to say on that, some of that money's earmarked for, we're going to buy the guys all new boots, guys and gals. But what's left, I'd be more than happy to set that aside for this sign project. I also just wanted to say that I don't think I said enough about Sean. One, I really appreciate him coming back. And I think a lot of people in the community know that Sean's a business owner, and here in town, he actually owns 2 businesses. So he's not doing this job because he needs the money. He's doing it because he likes it and he loves the job. So he lives in this community. Like I said, he has businesses in this community, and I think he just wants to be here for the community. So I do appreciate him coming back. I had 2 interviews this week with potential hires. Both of them are great candidates. They're both in the very early process of being vetted. And I'm hoping they both work out. And with them and Sean, that should put us back at the full numbers. So I'm hoping that they both work out, and we'll be back rocking and rolling. So that's all I have.
Fantastic. Any questions for Rob? All right. Okay, back to
The committees. So I will officially get this out. I couldn't find the format today that Natalie had it saved in. So I will get that and get this out to everyone, but I'm just going to run through. So if you just want to jot down for now what committee you are on. So I'll start with the Community Development Committee. And that will be Ron Garbett, Andy Bakke, and Amber Fletcher. And then Emergency Services, that's going to be Kelly Campbell, Brooklyn, and Ron Garbett. Utility Services, that's going to be Mike Mays, Amber, and Andy Bakke. Budget Committee, that's going to be Kelly Campbell, Brooklyn, and Mike Mays. And then Human Resource, that's going to be Ron Garbett, Kelly Campbell, and Amber. So again, I will send that out officially via email in the next couple of days, so everybody has that. honestly, I think that we need to get back on track with these committees. It's been a couple of months. So I don't know what the best approach is, but I think all committees need to set a meeting here in the very near future. So maybe I can work with Greg to individually send out emails or to each committee to identify a date. Would that be the best way, or should we let them? Any ideas? Any?
We've got two set,
Do we?
community development and utilities.
Fantastic. Okay, so that
Let's
makes
start.
it. Let's start there.
I think there was a
Set format.
set format for budget committee.
I have that here if you want to know it.
Utility service was the second Thursday of each month at 5. CDC was second Thursday each month at 6. Budget was fourth Thursday of January, April, July, and October at 6. But your special ones, we just kind of did that. It was just Natalie would send out a quick text around and we just make sure it's still good.
Can circulate that.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna recirculate that. Is that
Okay.
for me to keep?
Yeah, you can have it and use it as your guide.
Okay.
It's no good to me right now. Can you sit and-
Okay. I'll recirculate the schedule, and then if there's a need for, if a committee doesn't meet for a month, say, maybe there's a stronger need to have that first initial meeting and not wait the month. So I'll look at that, and if you guys so choose, and we, work together to set that meeting, then we'll get that out to everyone. Thank you, Brian. All right, do I need any repeats on the committees? Everybody?
I missed the second one that I was on.
So Ron, you are on community development, you are on emergency services, and you are on human resources.
Got
Everybody good? Okay. All right. This has been a long meeting, guys. All right, so upcoming meetings, we have the Utilities Committee meeting on the 8th, we have CDC on the 8th, and next regular council meeting is on the 8th as well at 7 p.m. Outside of that, is there any new business to address?
I would just put you on notice. We're working on some revisions to the income tax ordinance. These will be retroactive to January 1. They're not things we're adding. They're all coming to us from Columbus. So all we're doing is updating our income tax ordinance to match the state's ordinance, which we're required to do. So those will be on your agenda at the next meeting.
Fantastic, thank you. Outside of that, if there's no additional new business, I would certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Kelly has made the motion. Is there a second? All right. All those in favor, state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. We're still live. We're still live.